Hello and welcome to another edition of Only Tyler Will Tell. I would like to start today's video by asking a direct question to my readers out there. Have you ever picked up a book that, didn't look all that impressive or, really that great? For whatever reason, you end up getting the book, or maybe this book is just presented to you in some way, shape, or form, and you actually take the time to read it and it's kind of great. Or the flip side where you buy this book and it looks amazing, the cover is fantastic, the synopsis is amazing, and the story seems like it could not, will not, shall not fail, but it ultimately does. Yes, today's video of Only Tyler Will Tell is about not judging a book by its cover. I would like to start today's video by making a couple of just statements about jumping into a book. If we're talking like if we're comparing it directly to life. So when you meet someone new, when you meet a new person, whatever whatever interest or capacity you meet them in, whether it's just walking by them or maybe they're put in a working condition near you, or maybe it's just somebody that you kind of sparked with, maybe, I don't know. Keep in mind that you are not starting at the beginning of this book. You are opening a random, or you're opening to a random chapter in this book. Okay? Do you kind of get where I'm going? Maybe not. Well, if you don't, basically, what I'm telling you is you haven't read the whole story. You don't know what led someone to this point when you meet them. You never do. Unless you met that person when they were just born, you do not know shit about the beginnings of that story. And I guarantee you, if you're watching this, anybody that you're meeting right now, for the most part, is going to be somebody you didn't know when they just came out, man. All right? Right. All right, so bear with me on this. Looks can be incredibly deceiving, and it goes both ways. You can meet somebody that comes off assholish, arrogant, whatever. Or you can meet somebody that seems absolutely phenomenal, cannot fail. This person is amazing. And it just completely not the truth. And I'll get to examples in a second, but I really stress, you do not know what someone has been through before meeting them. So do not be so quick to judge somebody based on their demeanor or the way they look, whatever. You cannot, shall not, will not do that. No, you can, but I really discourage that. That is it's kind of an arrogant, ignorant way to live. So let's kind of focus in on a couple of examples here. I know some of you have met people that initially came off super shitty, or they looked some kind of way. Like okay, example. At one point, I was walking out of work one night a couple of years ago, and I walked by a homeless man. And granted, all I did was, be polite, say, hey, how are you doing? And I gave him food. I gave him food. I went back inside, gave him food, and then went about my way. Or I was going to. That was the initial plan. Just love the people around you. I think we've all been in bad situations. I wanted to show somebody that, we people still care. And I don't know. He said he thanked me, and he tried to give me something. I can't remember what it was, but he tried to give me one of the few things he owned for me showing that kindness to just stop and talk to him. And then talking to this person, they had a bad string of luck, and they were working and lost their job, and they were the only ones paying everything, and they lost their home, their security, their everything. And in talking to this person, I realized that my initial, my initial assumption just on people is you sometimes forget that of just how complex other people's lives are, and exactly And anybody can end up in situations like that if you give the right circumstances. And on the flip side of this, there are people that you meet that it seems like they're a must have. You need them around. Friends, romantic entanglements, whatever. And in whatever capacity, they seem fantastic. And it turns out to be a total lie. It's all a sham. Yeah, two-faced people are way too common now. And it's scary. It's fucking scary. You know, I wish some. I I watch a lot of Netflix, and I remember watching that '70s show, and Eric's mom, Kitty, said that I wish people had some kind of indicator, like a really big scar or an eye patch or something to, like, you know, basically separate, you know, so you understand that you could see when someone wasn't great. And it's kind of funny because if it was that simple, but it never is. Um, I stress to all of you, to not judge based on what you see. Take the time to stop for a few minutes and to get to know someone new. Take the time to try to break that hesitation we get toward people we don't know. People tend to surprise me, and I think maybe they'll surprise you too if you give them that chance. It's extremely funny how backwards we can get it sometimes, where we get these stereotypical ideas about groups of people, like the homeless. We get this kind of at least a lot of us get this vibe, this feeling that somehow these people did this to themselves, and in some cases that's not wrong, but that's not everyone. The circumstances leading to something happening like this can go so many different ways, and people that seem great can definitely put on an act. You know, if you want to talk about somebody that seemed amazing and turned out to be extremely awful, well, let's look no further than Ted Bundy. Can we just, like, talk about that? Sometimes the ugliest things come in the most attractive packages. And sometimes something that doesn't look like much is actually kind of great. I just want to emphasize that to my viewership. And another note that I'd like to place before signing this one off is if you've ever read a book, or if you've ever thought about reading a book, and somebody tells you that it's a shitty book or it sucks, read the book. Get your own impression. Something might not be for someone, but something could definitely be for you. And I encourage you, in a literal sense, basically make your own impressions on people. But that's just my opinion. I challenge you to not assume shit about anyone before taking the time to actually know and understand them. If you put no effort toward it, you have not read the book. You do not know this person. You can't say shit about this book. Well, you can listen to me. You might not listen to me, and I'm sure some people won't. That's totally fine. But I encourage you, take that chance. Will you? Only Tyler will tell.